Народ, всем привет, всем здравствуйте. Продолжаем наше прохождение. Я уже замучился, конечно, мне играть, она такая долгая, и мы только меньше, чем полкарты прошли. Это что такое вообще? Это что? Вы же разработчики, вот такие молодцы вообще. В этом мире можно существовать вечно просто. Просто вечно. Игра очень длинная. Прям пипец. Чтобы все локации пройти, я не знаю, сколько нужно часов наиграть, наверное. Учитывая то, что я в целом-то почти не умер ни разу за всю эту историю. Ну, там 1-2 максимум. Вот. Это, конечно, очень все интересно. Очень все интересно. Ну, бляха-муха, там столько игр уже вышло новых. Oblivion, Remastered, Spider-Man 2, Джедаи. Ну, Джедаи я там еще давно не играл. Что там у нас еще этот... The Last of Us.
You have a very fine fortress, my lord.
I'm glad you think so.
You don't?
To be honest, I'd much prefer to go back to Kuttenberg. Life...
Так, что у нас по снаряге? Снаряга наша осталась. Ага. Хрен. Нет, наша осталась снаряга. Только что она не полная. Почему-то.
A fortress isn't ideal for a man with my experience.
And with your fortune.
That gets worryingly smaller every day, Lord Trotsnov.
Hardly surprising if you're putting up the Margrave here.
No, that's more down to his Hungarian cousin, if you get my meaning.
Так, сейчас чуток мы кое-что подправим. Где у нас тут камера? Камера. Так, настройка видео. Что она не хочет выйти. Ну ладно. Так, место-то нам пожрать дадут, наконец-то. Братан, здорово.
Eat whatever takes your fancy, my friends. You look like you've had a hard journey.
Ah, the journey wasn't so bad, especially compared to what came before it.
How did that happen?
Simple. I'm in the service of Lord Sokol of Lamberg, same as Dry Devil. And I had a job to do around Trotsky, if you get my meaning.
Absolutely. But it wasn't much of a success, was it?
Actually, it was pretty much. We even took a castle.
Well, more like a small stronghold.
And we
And what prevented you from completing that righteous deed?
Markvart von Aulis.
I know that name. He's the commander of the Prague militia.
Exactly. And they came with him.
But why would the Praguers send forces to Trotsky?
Ah, but they didn't, sir. They weren't sent to Trotsky, but here. They just stopped off to visit von Berghoff because he was in a tight situation, and they took him along with them.
Here? To my fortress? Christ almighty.
Not just here, but everywhere where King Wenceslas still has supporters.
And that's also one of the reasons why we're here. We came to warn you. It seems Sigismund's run out of patience. He's going to break the truce and finish off the rebellion while he still has time. So he's convened all his followers in Kuttenberg with von Berghoff and von Orlitz in the lead. It's just a matter of time before the battles begin.
We've got to secure the fortress quickly, stock up on supplies, reinforce the guard and drill the troops. But I'm grateful to you, friends. Wait here. I'll have the best wine I have brought to you. Bring that red from Burgundy right away.
You might want to save some for Jobst.
I'll gladly risk his displeasure for this occasion.
It seems we both have the same opinion of Jobst, eh?
Well, that is, I wouldn't dream of disrespecting the Margrave. Where do you know him from?
I don't really know him as such. We merely know each other due to my original trade.
Yes, I've heard of you. They say you used to be, well...
Yes, a bandit. It's no secret, sir. King Wenceslas even put a price on my head once. And Catherine here, she...
I'm sure that's of no interest to the noble gentleman. And anyway, if anyone knows Jobst well, it's Henry here. You two are quite on friendly terms, aren't you?
Well, we only met once, in fact. When he came to see Lord Hanush in Rattay.
Anyway, we're straying a little from the point. As I said, one of the reasons we came here is to warn you. And the other reason goes by the name of Hynek, the Dry Devil. Where is he?
Well, he was here for a while. At my invitation.
Was here? So he's gone?
Where did he go?
I couldn't say. He didn't part quite on the best of terms.
That's quite normal for him. Don't take it to heart, sir.
I had no issue with him. It's more about Margrave Jobst. When he met Hynek, he was somewhat disturbed.
Disturbed? Why?
Well, let's say, after an exchange of opinions, they agreed it would be best if they saw as little of each other as possible. I'm sure if you're interested in the details, the Margrave will explain it to you himself.
I'd be very surprised.
What was Dry Devil doing here, anyway?
Waging war, if you can call it that. He ambushed 3 of Sigismund's supply caravans and a troop of Cumans in these parts alone. It made me a little nervous. If anyone found out he was hiding out here, in the end, it was Jobst himself who sorted it out. He told Hynek he had to stop because he was interfering with his plans.
What do you think about all of this, sir? Sigismund, Wenceslas, Jobst?
What kind of question is that? Do you doubt my loyalty to our king?
No, that's not how I meant it.
Henry here sometimes forgets to weigh his words, sir.
That's all right. To be frank, we all know that King Wenceslas isn't the great man his father Charles was. But that is the way of the world. History is full of kings who didn't know how to wear the crown. The blood running in their veins is more important than what's in their heads. He's not a capable ruler. What of it? In my opinion, kingship is above all a guarantee of divine peace. A sovereign's greatest asset is his legitimacy.
But what if the sovereign is truly bad? If he's mad, say?
I'll put it this way. Nobody lives forever, lad.
Least of all bad kings. Isn't that right, sir?
So, what about us? What do we do now?
The Margrave will certainly want to talk to you, but the earliest he'll be back at the fortress will be tomorrow. I hope until then, you won't refuse my offer of a bed for the night.
Just an offer. So you'd let us leave if we wanted to.
Well, the Margrave did ask me to look after you until he returns, for the sake of security.
Whose security?
Good question. Yours, I expect.
Ah, so be it. I couldn't take another step anyway.
Sir, there's still one more thing we came for. Lord von Bergov is holding my lord, Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein, hostage. And we also have to warn Jobst's ally, John of Liechtenstein. Do you know anything about those two?
Sorry, I don't. I didn't even know von Bergau had come here until you told me. And I've heard nothing about Lord Liechtenstein.
Which is actually good news. If he'd been caught and executed, the word would be all over the region. So there's a strong hope he's alive.
Thank you for the warm welcome, Lord Pisek.
It's the least I could do, lad. My fortress is open to all the king's supporters, even if that does make it a bit crammed.
I suppose I ought to get to bed. Where can I sleep, sir?
I had some chambers prepared for all of you. Yours is right here in the palace. Cross that corridor and go up the stairs. You can't miss it. There's a garland above the door. But first, eat your fill, all of you. And maybe you'd like to bathe before going to bed. I told my servant Susanna to prepare baths for you. The baths are in the little house in the courtyard, right next to the well.
Еда. А где еда? Что поесть там?
Here I am, finally. So hungry I could eat a horse. Thirsty more like, eh? Aye, that too.
Курочка. Ну все, теперь наелись как свинья.
God bless. And with you.
Ага, тарелку нельзя тырить. Так, письмо ловчу. Здесь что тут? Так. Так, песика надо тоже покормить.
Mutt! Here you go. Take it.
Кушай. Кушай. О, подруга, давай-ка затусим.
Lord Pisek said we could have a bath here?
Yes, sir. I prepared the hot water and fragrant oils myself. And I'll wash your clothes as well.
Thank you.
You needn't thank me, sir. And now, if you'll allow me, I'll help you undress.
Hey, doggy.
I apologize.
А, ну вот здесь. Здесь мы сейчас оборонять будем. Это я помню точно. В начале игры обороны этого замка. Блин, ну вот смотрите, какой мир. Пипец он. Он еще больше. Он просто огромнейший. Сколько тут часов, я просто не представляю. Просто. Это ужас какой-то. Сейчас уже часов, наверное, 30-40 потратил на игру. Еще, наверное, столько же, около сотки. Меньше. Так, а где он сказал? Подальше по коридору. Нет, не моя. Угу. А где кости? Тут еще в кости можно поиграть? Ну-ка.
Excuse me?
А, давай в гости с тобой сыграем, братан. Кто ты ушел? Не получится, видимо. О, нифига, сральник в комнате. Забавно. Опять кошмарики нам снятся. Кошмарики. Такие вот комарики.
So you got your revenge? Father, did it make you feel any better? It did. So what comes next?
Mark von Aulitz is next. Then von Berghoff.
And is that what you really want, son? No matter how many people you kill, you can't change what's happened.
It's what I want.
Are you sure, Henry?
What's happening? Why are you waking me up? You again?
Yes, the Margrave is calling for you, sir. You and the other gent.
You mean Zizka?
I suppose. I don't know what his name is, but he's waiting down in the courtyard. I'm just on my way to tend to his wounds.
And what about Catherine?
That's the good wife who arrived with you? I don't know. I think I saw her with our captain.
Very well. I'll go now.
Before you go, I brought you something for breakfast. In case you're hungry. Oh, have I been too bold?
No, definitely not. Thank you. Do you need anything else?
No, sir.
So, why are you standing here?
You haven't dismissed me, sir.
Oh, I see. You may leave. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
God be with you, my friend. Greetings to you too.
А где? Ну, елки-палки. Опять одеваться заново. Ладно, побыстрее походим.
Excuse me.
God bless.
See, meine Dame? We aren't idle here.
Hello, the Worth Henry of Skalitz. I'm just holding a discussion with the captain here about his desolate fortress.
That's not how I'd put it. In the end, as mein Großvater said, the strength of a castle is measured by its garrison. And mine is one of the best in the region. What do you say, lad? Am I right?
Well, your grandfather was right. A castle with a weak garrison is no good for anything. But your men... I'd say the girls from our village would do a better job of defending the place.
What did you say, you bastard? Why don't you show us how it's done, then? Now that we have Großer Meister among us, we should make use of him, shouldn't we?
No problem. But I'm not sure it'll be a fair fight.
Then you'll have to show...
Come, Junge. We'll stuff your clothes with straw. Pull cork, the first...
Excellent, Henry.
It was nothing.
Gut gemacht. You have my admiration. You really are good with the sword. I hope my idiots learned a thing or two from you.
You should receive some kind of reward for that feat.
And what rewards would you have in mind?
I was rearranging our saddlebags, and I remembered I took a small memento from Trotsky.
Oh. What is it?
A hunting crossbow. I even think it's von Berghoff's. I was meaning to sell it, but it might serve you better.
My word. Thank you. I better go and find Zizka. The Margrave is expecting us.
I saw Zizka next to the stables. There was some girl hanging around him.
Do you want to come with us to see Jobst?
Not really. I'll go and pack my things instead. I have a feeling we'll have to leave soon.
Why?
A woman's intuition.
How's it going, Captain?
Sehen,
What of it? So is there anything you need a hand with, Frenzel?
was soll ich sagen? After our lord paid ransom for us to the Chaiskel Cherton, there is peace here. Fortunately. Aber warte. Actually, there is one thing. You ought to have a word with our huntsman Dobrosch. He might have eine Aufgabe for you. See, someone poached a white roebuck in his territory the other day.
A white roebuck? That's a rare sight.
Ja, and Dobrosch takes it as a personal offense. So go easy on him, hörst du?
What exactly do you mean by that?
Just ask him if there's anything new happening in his territory, and wait until he tells you himself. Oh, yeah. He really doted on that creature. Und das war alles. I don't have anything else.
All right, thank you. I'll ask around. I'd like to learn...
What are you in...
О, 1500 уже хочет.
I heard Kuttenberg surrendered to...
They are. These dreckigen Hurensöhne are angry, you see? They thought they would rake in the silver from the Kuttenberg mines. But they couldn't have been more wrong. Sigismund kept all the treasure for himself. Why should he pay them out of his own pocket when the local lords are feeding them?
What? I don't understand.
Dann pass mal auf. As soon as the soldiers began looting the villages around the city, the local nobility quickly decided it's better to pay them Lösegeld.
So that Hungarian bastard is getting rich, while the locals feed his army?
Das trifft den Nagel auf den Kopf. And yet, that carrot-top Schweinehund lets the monks in the Selets monastery fuss over him while he receives legations from the whole kingdom.
Do you know by chance how to get into that monastery where Sigismund is staying?
Wie bitte? Hast du den Verstand verloren? You can forget about that. You won't get in there. And listen closely to what I tell you. I don't know what you're planning, but I'll give you some good advice. Leave Sigismund alone. The wheels of justice grind slowly, but surely. You'll see. You'd better be glad you still have your head.
I need to top up my supplies. Where could I find some merchants here?
You'd be better off asking the innkeeper Slivka in the village about these things. He knows everyone from far and wide. And that's no surprise, because he makes such good spirits.
Did Sigismund also attack Suchdol?
Oh yes, as soon as he got here. But my men know what to do. Mit der Hilfe Gottes, we fended him off and forced him to negotiate. Mein Herr Peter, however, had to pay him a fat lösegeld to leave us in peace. The villagers in the vicinity fared even worse.
What happened?
They raised Mesolas and Opatovitz. There was nothing left but ashes and stones. They haven't been here since then, but who knows what tomorrow may bring. Der Teufel soll Sigismund holen.
How do things work around here? Is there something I should be wary of?
Not really, except for the Sigismund military camp at Opatovitz. And it isn't really all that safe in the raised villages either. These Banditenbanden have settled in there. A bunch of dossers who'll easily cut your throat for a piece of bread. Ah, so God will. These evil times will soon be over.
How do I get to Kuttenberg from here?
Das ist nicht schwer. You just take the main road to the east, and then you'll see the church towers. Or you can also follow your nose. There's smoke rising from the Kuttenberg smelters day and night. The smell is hell, but it's worth it for the silver. In fact, the silver's why Kuttenberg is the second richest city in the kingdom, right after Prague.
Where did you say Sigismund's army is camped?
Unfortunately, they're close. They've occupied the hill above the main road near Kuttenberg, so no one could just come and help the town. When you walk out of the village and look toward Opatovitz, you should see the flags flying above their camp. Pah! That Hungarian camp is like a boil. It's just festering and we just can't get rid of it.
Все нам рассказал, всех сдал.
It's strange, crooked, like a letter from a fancy book.
Ah, this fell off the battlements at Laxenburg Castle.
Lord,
How are things, Captain?
What do you think? I've seen better days. And you, youngster?
Yeah, not so great. I'm feeling pretty battered.
Just wait until you've been through as much as I have.
Nah, don't say that. You still have your strength. A real man of iron.
A damned rusty one, I'd say. But enough chat. I see Jobst has returned to the fortress.
That's why I'm here. They're expecting us. I wanted to take Catherine along too, but she said she'd rather get the horses ready.
She's doing the right thing. And you better run ahead and greet the Margrave. I'll join you shortly.
Are you expecting trouble?
I always expect trouble. Jobst has turned coats more times than I can count. And the way things are these days, I'd rather have horses standing by, even on a visit to my parents.
What about that dry devil of yours? Did you find out where he went?
No, nobody asked him where he was going, but it seems they're hoping it's as far away as possible. I'm not surprised. If I know him, he wasn't the ideal guest.
At least Jobst might know where he is.
He might. To be honest, that's the only reason for talking to him.
Should I really go and see Jobst on my own? He's a Margrave, though.
So what? You already know him better than I do. You met him in Ratai. I only know what I've heard about him.
All right, but he sent for us both. How's it gonna look?
A bit odd, I suppose. But you must understand, I'm doing this for our benefit. The less time I spend with a Margrave in one room, the better.
All right then. I'll be going then.
Greetings, friend. So good it is.
Greetings. What do you need?
What goes on in the forest, Huntsman?
There are poachers prowling in the woods, a band led by this ginger-headed muck of Marshowitz. They've been causing trouble for quite some time, but now they've really overdone it.
What happened?
They killed a rare white roebuck that lived in our woods. Killed and skinned it. Sir Peter of Pisek put a bounty on their heads. The bounty's yours if you help me track them down.
I must say, I've never seen a white roebuck before.
It's an exceedingly rare animal. It was beautiful. Its hide was white as snow. Sir Peter forbade hunting it, but I wouldn't have even if I could. Killing an animal like that is bad luck.
Do you know any more about these poachers?
They're led by some fella called Mark of Marshowitz, and they fancy themselves some kind of a brotherhood. From what I've heard, they showed up in the village below the castle a couple of times trying to sell venison. The guards always sent them packing. Our knacker, Wolfram, was the only one who talked to them.
That knacker, Wolfram. Do you think he had anything to do with the dead roebuck and the poachers?
Oh, he has a dishonorable profession, true enough. And he sells hides and meat wherever he can. But having the gall to work with poachers? I don't think so. He's on thin enough ice as it is, being a knacker and all. If his lordship found out he had anything to do with it, he'd have him hanged. But he might know something about that band.
All right, Huntsman. I'll try to track the poachers down. Maybe they haven't sold the hide yet, and I'll be able to find it.
Excellent. And if you mete out capital punishment on the spot, all the better. Every member of that band carries a squirrel tail on them. Probably a badge of their hunting prowess. Bring them to me as evidence.
Where should I look for these poachers?
Ah, that's the hard part. I'm sure they have a hideout in the woods around here, but you'll have to track them down yourself. If you don't know what to do, you can try to get something out of the knacker.
Thanks for the advice.
It was good to see you, my friend.
Опять куча квестов. Так, что у нас со снарягами? Не пойму. Почему у нас опять шляпа на снаряге?
Henry. Where's Captain Zizka?
He got held up.
I received a report that von Bergov's banner is flying in the camp of my dear cousin Sigismund, so I assume the negotiations at Trotsky didn't go too smoothly.
No, sir. I don't have good news for you, I'm afraid.
Well, good or bad, I'm sure you have plenty to report. So what happened with von Bergov at Trotsky?
Bergov had no interest in our message. By the time we finally arrived at Trotsky, he'd already long since made a deal with Sigismund. But of course, he didn't tell Sir Hans and me anything. And on top of that, he used us to do his dirty work. Everything went to hell in the end, and we ended up in a dungeon. Or at least I did. They took Lord Capon away. In fact, that's why we're here. We were following von Bergov's trail.
So I've heard. But I'd be interested to know the details. It's been some time since our meeting in Ratai, and now you appear here by the side of a quite unexpected guest.
Well, it wasn't the best circumstances to meet Zizka in. They sent him to the Trotsky region to cause problems, and our paths happened to cross. We crossed swords. I can only thank God we didn't kill each other.
And who was giving Zizka orders? Do you know?
I have no idea, sir.
That's a pity. I would be very keen to know.
Forgive me, my lord, but how is it possible you don't know? Aren't you all on the same side?
Bear in mind that my dear cousin, His Majesty King Wenceslas, has many supporters, and each of them has their own ideas about how to defend him.
I understand. It seems complicated.
On the contrary, it's all quite simple. If I could get them all together in one banquet hall, give them their fill of wine and venison, they'd come to an agreement on the spot. Let's move on. I heard something about a pillory and poaching. What in God's name did you and Sir Hans get up to?
Things went wrong right from the beginning. We were ambushed, and we lost the letter. Lord Capon and I were lucky to get out of it alive. But no one at Trotsky believed that we were messengers.
Von Berghoff refused to aid a nobleman in need. That seems pretty low for a man of his stature.
Well, to be honest, Lord Capon didn't really look much like a nobleman. We were ambushed while bathing in a pond, and then we fled through the woods. So we really looked like a pair of beggars.
Ah, that must have been a peculiar feeling for Lord Capon.
You can't even imagine it, Your Grace.
I certainly cannot, in truth. In any case, are you sure there's nothing else you want to tell me?
Well, you should probably know that Istvan Toth was working for von Bergov.
Who's he?
One of Sigismund's cronies. He was causing havoc around Ratai.
Ah, yes. Hanush and Radzig mentioned some such person. They even foolishly let him go.
They had to. They gave him their word.
Yes. Well, it's actually quite heartening that some people still have such naive ideas about the world.
Well, no one let him go this time. He's dead.
Very good. From what I've heard, he was a bandit and a cutthroat. There should be no dealings with his ilk.
Isn't Zizka a bandit too, though?
Zizka is loyal to Wenceslas. So he's no bandit or cutthroat, but a faithful servant of our king, carrying out resistance against his enemies. But let's move on. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me?
That's all that happened, sir.
Truly. My court messenger and bearer of tidings, both good and bad, John of Liechtenstein, has mysteriously gone silent. So every piece of information I get now is precious. By the way, you said you were in von Bergoff's dungeon. And I can imagine how they treated you there. Tell me, did you reveal anything?
Well, they asked questions, yes. But I was counting on that, and prepared myself for it.
How did you prepare yourself?
Well, I mainly told them things I was pretty sure von Bergov already knew. Like that Radzig is a supporter of Wenceslas, that you and I met in Rattay.
And was he satisfied with that?
Well, I don't think he expected anything more from a simple servant of Lord Capon.
That's true. I must say, Henry, you've pleasantly surprised me. You can keep a cool head as the world around you burns. You'll make it far. Thank you for the news. You're free to go if you want. But I would be glad if you stayed at the fortress. As soon as it's possible, you can join a legation heading for Rattay. I'm sure you already want to go home.
What? Go home? I can't. I have to rescue Sir Hans. I made a promise I'd protect him.
A noble thought. But you mustn't worry about Lord Capon. I'm sure von Bergoff has him trapped in a gilded cage.
But I made a promise, sir.
I understand, but honestly, Lord Capon is now safer than you or I. The most sensible course now is to wait for the ransom demand.
Margrave.
Ah, Captain Zizka. Henry and I were just discussing Lord Capon.
Yeah, the Margrave thinks he's in no danger, and we should wait for a ransom demand.
As one does.
I wanted to talk to you about something else. I suppose you're wondering why your friend Hinnek, also known as the Dried Devil, isn't here?
Oh, there's plenty of gossip going on around the fortress. You and Pisek refused to grant him asylum.
Asylum is for those in distress, Captain. Hinnek came to burn and pillage. I have quite different plans.
And what might those be, Margrave? Sitting and talking while King Wenceslas rots in a dungeon. What would I expect? Not so long ago, you were conspiring with Sigismund against Prokop, your own brother!
It would be futile trying to explain to you the intricacies of the Luxembourg's dynastic politics. Let me just explain that that was what was called for in the situation. But I assure you that I am now acting in the best interests of this country and of King Wenceslas.
You're acting first and foremost in your own interests. Everyone knows that.
Strong words coming from a man who earns his bread by killing merchants on the road. No offense intended. I applaud your art. The pen is mightier than the sword, but there are times when it's vice versa. Enter!
All ready to leave now, sir?
Good. It's high time. I expect the captain was about to leave anyway. Are you not?
With pleasure.
And you, Henry?
Me? Well, sir, I made a promise.
I understand. I won't attempt to keep you here by force. But bear in mind, I have concluded a very fragile truce with Sigismund, which gives us time to get ready. And if anyone should disrupt my plans with headstrong acts of violence, there will be consequences. Grave consequences. I consider this matter closed. Farewell and good luck.
I get the feeling Yopes didn't make a great impression on you. Are we leaving?
Yeah.
And Henry's going with us.
Wait, you'll help me find Capon?
Sure, but we'll need people for that. And information. Catherine, I've got a job for you.
Yes?
Go to Kuttenberg. Find out what happened to Liechtenstein. If anyone knows what's going on in this godforsaken country, it'll be him. In the meantime, we'll go and find Dry Devil and his band.
Good luck. I'd go all the way to Rome to spy if it kept me away from the devil.
Let's go! Stay close. The devil doesn't know
Можете
you,
заплатить
but he
возня, чтобы
should
приехать на
recognize
возьму
you
между тросами.
like this, unless he's too drunk.
What is your plan, anyway?
Где возница?
Go from village to village, hamlet to hamlet, until we find him.
That won't be necessary. We just have to visit places where you can get booze.
So all the taverns and dens in the region?
If it comes to that.
I'm up for that.
Don't get your hopes up. We'll have a beer, listen to the local rumor mill, and if we don't find anything, we'll pay up and move on.
Where do we start?
I have heard of a place that's a favored meeting spot of bandits, poachers, and all kinds of scum. If I was looking for the devil, or at least someone who knows something about him, that's where I'd go.
Sounds like a good place to start. And if we find the devil, what then?
If we're really to step on Sigismund's toes, we need capable men. And the devil's capable. Of anything, really.
I'm not sure what the three of us can achieve.
Hinek's not alone. He has the devil's pack.
Who?
That's what his band is called. They're exactly the sort of men we need.
And what do you have in mind when you say step on Sigismund's toes? What about Liechtenstein and Capon?
The same thing we did to von Berghoff. But don't worry. It's gonna take a lot of time before we're ready. In the meantime, hopefully Catherine will find out where young Liechtenstein is hiding. If his spy network really lives up to the legend, he'll surely know where they're keeping young Capon.
I hope so. And when he's free, then we can step on Sigismund's toes. I'm sure Lord Capon will be happy to help.
In that case, he'd be better off staying in captivity. So, what do you say? Should we speed up?
Aye. The sooner we get there, the better.
Ух ты, да хера себе. Пешком это хреначить. Далеко. Очень.
Yeah.
Ой.
I hope our journey doesn't prove to be in vain. Keep your hand on the hilt, Henry. Around here, you know.
Так, что у нас там? Прокачаться можем? Так, перерывчик. Так, продолжаем. Что тут у нас еще по этим? По... Мгм. Так, что тут у нас есть?
Never know what might happen.
I warned you you had it coming, you drunk.
Hang on. I didn't see it. Does feel better when I've had a drink. It's a gift from God.
Either you pay us back our coin, or you can leave your head with us.
You wouldn't get a crossing for an alternative, mine.
You're right about that.
I'd have a use for that turnip. But I can only pay for it with iron.
Shiska?
You turn on your heel and get going. If you value your life. You might have noticed there's more of us than you.
That can be fixed.
To hell with you.
Fighting like a man! Do I have to pull you out of trouble again? I see you're still a drunkard.
It's good to see you too, Shiska. What happened to...
That doesn't matter now.
Huh? Who's that? Where's your old band?
You're looking at all that's left of it.
I see we have a lot to talk about.
That we do. Anyway, this is Henry. Henry, this is Kubienka.
Hiya, lad. And thanks for the help. You're handy with a sword.
Thanks.
Not that I couldn't handle them myself.
He would be one of the best archers north of the Alps. If he wasn't drunk or with one arm in the stocks all the time.
Shouldn't we leave before someone notices the corpses?
Easy, lad. This is the devil's den. If we behave ourselves, the innkeeper will just charge us a cleaning fee, and that will be that.
There will be plenty of time to get acquainted with the local customs. We're looking for the devil. Where is he?
said we have a lot to talk about. Now's the time.
This is the innkeeper, Dreadlight.
Gentlemen, I won't have this. You're murdering my guests and making a mess.
They started it.
They've been drinking on credit for half a day. Who's going to pay for this now?
If you search their pockets and sell their weapons, that should cover it. And I have a feeling Kubienka here owed them some dice winnings.
I didn't cheat.
Pay him.
All right then. What did I do to deserve you? Here you go.
Ah, I see you are a nobleman and a generous one at that. You didn't have to, but thank you. I'm much obliged. You don't need to worry about anything. We'll clear away the corpses, pour some sand on the blood, and no one will know what happened here.
That's nice of you. But leave us alone now.
Nobody will be looking for them anyway. Only the catchpoles would be interested in them. You might even get a reward.
Did you hear Lord Chishka?
Yes, I did. Of course. I'm leaving. Just call if you need anything.
Who's this devil fella of yours, anyway?
He's an angry, dangerous murderer. Someone you want on your side, but never against you.
And a treacherous old fox, too. One time, he was besieging a castle, and when they refused to surrender, he dressed up as a begging hag. They let him in, and he slit their throats in their sleep. I still regret not being there to see that.
I was there. In fact, he kidnapped that hag's grandsons and told her he'd cripple them unless she let him in the castle. She opened the gate for him at night, and you know the rest.
Ha! Well, I could better the way Devil tells it.
Is it just you and the devil here? Where's the rest?
That's the problem.
What problem?
Well, I'm alone here.
Where's everybody else?
I'd like to know that too. When the devil was captured, they scattered. Some are dead, some ran for the hills. Some are probably holed up somewhere drinking.
What? The devil's been captured and that's how you tell me the news?
Who captured him?
How should I know? Some armed bastards.
Shit, Kubienka, you must know who came after you and why.
Well, we botched this job in Kuttenberg. It was supposed to be a breeze, but the fuckers outnumbered us 3-1. Before we could react, they knocked the devil down and pounded on him like a deaf man on a door. Ada and I tried to help him, but we just couldn't.
Fuck.
It pisses me off that we had to leave him there. But we would have been captured.
Do you know where they're keeping him?
Why? The town guard took him. So he's probably in the town jail?
Fuck. There's no way we're getting him out of there.
My words. Otherwise, we would have gotten him away from those fuckers a long time ago. Not even a mouse can get in there. We can't pull off something like that.
How long has it been since he was captured?
I've been sitting here drinking ever since it happened. So, maybe a week, maybe even a month. More like a month.
A month? They haven't hanged him yet.
That's the thing. The devil's famous. Lots of people want him dead. But they won't give him the news or the axe. They want to send his soul to the Lord in a much worse way. The devil is a proper bastard, but not even he deserves that.
What are they planning to do with him?
The devil's got a fat price on his head. He's the most feared robber baron in Bohemia. There are several empty tents in Sigismund's camp, thanks to him. They really want to relish his death. They'll take him to their camp outside of town for that.
Who told you that?
When someone owes you a dice wager, they'll spill him what they don't know. They say the people of Kuttenberg can't wait to see him gone.
If they're going to move him, that could be our chance. We'll wait for them and free the devil.
He will be watched by a dozen armed guards. We're only 3. So unless you have 10 men up your sleeve...
I thought the devil would have at least 10 men. But other than that, it makes sense. I don't think we'll have another shot.
I was going to hire some muscle for help here, but I got thirsty. You know the rest.
More like I know you. But maybe we'll find someone around here. Everybody'll listen if we mention coin. Can you think of anything else that might come in handy?
Well, how about some hand cannons?
Have you got some?
Well, not on me. But maybe there are some in our old camp. It isn't far.
Maybe?
Maybe. Surely. If I can remember where we hid them. And as luck would have it, they're not far from the road they used to transport the devil.
Well, what place is that?
This narrow gully with a nice curve that bets for something nasty to happen in it. West of here. You can't miss it.
Looks like there's still some sense left in your noggin despite the booze.
And what about me?
You'll go with Kubianka to get the hand cannons he may be... surely hid somewhere.
Great! At least I won't have to carry them myself.
Don't dilly-dally. And when you have them, meet me at the ambush spot. Keep an eye on him. And don't let him talk your ear off.
How did you meet Shishka anyway?
We tried to capture him, but he ambushed and captured us instead.
That sounds like Shishka. But that is how friendships for life are made.
With one of them in jail, while the other mocks them through the bars.
Actually, that's how I met my wife.
You have a wife? Where is she now?
Where could she be? Maybe rotting in the jail. I left her there on our wedding night.
Well, if that's what you say.
Oh, come on, Henry. You must have some fun, even if you are about to hang. Do not frown. It does not suit you.
I'm not frowning. That's just how my face is.
My condolences, then. Especially to your family. If my wife gave birth to something like that, I wouldn't know whether to fetch a priest or a shovel.
You don't know shit about my family, so keep your mouth shut.
Or what?
Or... you'll see.
I've seen things you wouldn't believe.
You nearly got killed just now, yet you're stirring shit again.
Oh, well, I cannot help myself. Life's to be lived, and the body's to go to the grave properly fucked up. So I take it easy. As they say in Latin, cop a demon.
So you're a mercenary, cutthroat, swindler, drunk, and on top of that, a philosopher?
I'm a man of many... You know what.
A man of many debts and drinks.
Oh, come on, you do not even know me. We will get to know each other once we have a drink together. Speaking of which... would you have a drop on you?
No.
Fuck. I never ride out without some supplies. I don't know if I can stand it.
A few more stupid jokes and I'll plug your gob. But it won't be with booze.
You are very lucky to be with Shishka, that you saved me.
I'm starting to regret it.
That's why I like you. We will have so much fun together. I feel it in my bones. But we better pick up our pace. I need to piss.
My, my. Oh!
What a relief. I just better not piss on my boots. Or trip over.
Ой, струйка такая.
Oh, almost done.
Что там нашел?
I believe in God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth, and in Jesus Christ, his only Son, our Lord, who was conceived by the Holy Spirit and born of the Virgin Mary. He suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, died, and was buried. He descended into hell. On the third day, he rose again. He ascended into heaven and is seated at the right hand of God the Father Almighty. He will come again to judge the living and the dead. I believe in the Holy...
Ой, ну это долго. На полчаса сейчас будет. Так.
I can't leave until we rescue the devil, whoever he is.
We decided to rob some merchant because we were running out of food and drink. They found one and decided to follow him until he arrived at the suitable place. They followed him almost all the way to Sigismund's camp. So throwing guns in the water...
What are we going to do now?
Well, welcome to our camp. It's not much, but we called it home.
This mess?
Hey, you don't see me insulting your home.
So where are the cannons?
We hit something down below last time. By the stream, near the boulders, by the uprooted tree. And something is buried a little ways over there.
Don't you remember where you put them?
Well, I have a rough idea. A hazy memory. A hunch.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So? Where are they?
One of those places. Let's look at all of them. They are here somewhere.
We're gonna dig through half the forest.
Nonsense. I'll walk around, get my bearings. You'll see. Anyway, we need a shovel. There used to be one by Janner's tent.
Which one is that?
The one made of leaves. He was so proud of it until he woke up covered in caterpillars.
Come on then. We don't have much time.
Lad, hey, here it is. Bring the shovel. Be quick. It is already taking us longer than we wanted. We were as drunk as fiddlers when we buried it. But this place seems really familiar. Before that, we had to bury old Lodil, and we had to fortify ourselves.
I was a fool to think this would be easy.
So, I was wrong.
So you're digging the next one?
Listen, lad.
Just tell me you didn't throw those hand cannons in the water.
Of course not. Look at that basket over there.
What about it?
The cannons are not there, but there is something better. Booze. Be a lovely lad and fetch it.
Why don't you go yourself?
The water is cold and the bottom is slippery. I do not want to get wet.
But if I get wet, that's all right, eh?
Not just all right. downright splendid.
We're moving. No stalling.
You're as much fun as watching grass grow.
But why have you got two now?
Че, его ударил, что ли? Случайно?
Right. Enough playing around. Dig. Here. So this is the grave of poor Lord Yell. I was sure we buried him elsewhere.
Look. What stench?
Why? He did not smell much better when he was alive. Oh, well. God grant him eternal life. Some soul.
What about us?
If Lord Yell is here, then I reckon I know where the hand cannons are. Fucking bitch. Did someone beat us to it? See? I told you I knew exactly where to find them.
God, why are you punishing me?
Oh, don't cry. We have more important things to do.
Will you take the cannons?
I won't be lugging them around.
Right. Are we going to see Zizka?
Let's go. Or do you want to go alone?
I'd rather go with you. Just in case.
Mount up then. With
Так, на этом сейчас все. Закончим. Мне надо, к сожалению, бежать.